Okay, so this webinar today is going to be about the SEO Yoast plugin. The plugin is already installed and ready to go on your Piggyback blogs. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Now, this is a rather not advanced but intermediate webinar. We're going to be going over how to go that extra mile with your plugins, with your blog posts and your blog pages, rather than how to create posts and create pages. Now, if you have questions about this and you still want to stay around for the webinar, but you're still kind of a newbie when it comes to utilizing your Piggyback blog, stick around. At the end of all of my instruction, I'm going to open it up so that you can ask your questions. If you want to come back at about 20 minutes, then I'll be able to answer the questions and do a question and answer kind of back and forth at that time. Okay, but at this time we're going to go on and discuss the SEO Yoast plugin that's available inside your Piggyback blog. So if you're in here, you usually have already logged into your Piggyback blog at least once, and you've seen a couple of different areas that are available because of the SEO Yoast plugin. The first section is going to be on your dashboard, which may look different on your screen because all of these areas are adjustable, so that you can customize what you want to see in the spaces that you want to see it. But there's an overview area for the SEO Yoast post plugin that shows how many posts you have that have good SEO and some of them that don't have a keyword yet that you need to give some attention to. So if you are familiar with making your blog posts, you have seen your lights in the SEO area. There's your black light, your red light, your orange, I think, and then green. Green lights are always what you want. However, let me just say this before we begin into the actual plugin and all the other features that are in there and how to utilize it. You don't have to fill out this plugin or have a green light in order to have a successful blog. These are the extra pieces that you can do if you want to make your blog get promoted better inside of search engines, to make it look nicer, things like that. It's all about the content, however. The content is what allows you to be found, and that's what Google really cares about, less so about the meta descriptions and the keywords and things like that. That's mostly just for you to know that you're hitting all the steps. So know that before we get into this. So even if you aren't getting green lights on all of your blog posts, but you're writing about things that people are going to be wanting to read about, and you're focused in on the area that you want to be writing about, such as if you focus on Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida is going to be a hard keyword to try and dominate. Unlike, if you focused in on Union Park, Orlando, Florida, or Baldwin Park, Orlando, Florida. Those are going to be smaller areas, and you're going to have a lot less competition when it comes to the search engines. So you have to write about the things that you want to be found about. Simple as that. And that's what Google really cares about. All this extra stuff we're going to be talking today about in this plugin, it's all the gravy. Like, you can do the extra bit. Okay? So to get started, if you are creating a blog post, there's an area at the bottom of your edit page that says Yoast SEO. Inside here, this is where you're able to control a lot of the information that shows whenever you're searching for something inside of a search engine. So let's say I'm looking for homes for sale in Orlando. So these areas here are being used as your meta description. This is probably one of the only ones that has one actually set. As you can see that some of the other ones run out of space. And that usually is what happens when you don't set your own meta description. A meta description is simply your way to promote your blog post or page inside the search engines. That little 156 characters of your summarized way to get people into clicking to go into the actual post. You don't have to do this. If you don't, what will happen is it's going to use the first 156 characters of your content. Now, in that case, you may be ramping up to talk about something, but you haven't gotten to the point yet, and it's grabbing a bunch of content that has nothing to do with what your actual blog post is about. That's less likely to get people to actually click on your blog post when it comes to search engines. Okay, so all of that is inside this area. So let's go into a blog post I've already written so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel here in this webinar. All right, so this blog post is something that I wrote about Baldwin Park, which is a community that's located inside of Orlando, Florida. Now, if you can see down here at the bottom, I've already filled in all these areas. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of them so you can see what it's like to fill it in yourself, okay? So I've written this blog post. It's about how awesome it is to live in Baldwin Park. I have like a bolded area inside here. I have external links. I've got Baldwin Park mentioned in the header. I've got it mentioned throughout the content. I'm doing pretty good. But if I wanted to, go the extra mile, then I can come down here to the SEO area. Now, you can see that it's automatically showing me a snippet of what my link will look like inside of search engines. So it's going to, cut off my title because it's too long. It's going to cut off my sentence inside of the content that it dragged into here. So the first 156 characters cuts off my content, so it doesn't really make as much sense as I would prefer. So obviously, my focus keyword, understand the word here, keyword. It's not a long phrase. It's not, putting Baldwin Park's dash community dash homes for sale dash award winning. Those are keywords, not keyword. So for this blog post, I would say that my focus keyword is Baldwin Park. That is what I'm trying to promote in this area. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at this focus keyword and see how often I've used it. So in the article heading, which is this guy here, it's being used because Baldwin Park is in it. In the page title, which is also this section, it's got my focus keyword in it. The page URL, which is located here. So your page URL could have been saved from whenever you had an earlier iteration of your title, but you wanted to go back and change it. It's as simple as clicking edit to the button beside the URL, or just clicking inside the URL and it lets you, change it from there. So I've manipulated this to where it's different than the title, but it's shorter and easier to, see all at one time. So Baldwin Park, located in my URL. If I wanted to change it, I could change it all right here. It's going to automatically put the dashes in for me. Then all I have to do is click OK. It's checking in my content. It says that I've used Baldwin Park in there 6 times. That's awesome. That's great keyword density. And then meta description. Currently it says that I have not used the word Baldwin Park because I haven't written it down here myself. So let's figure out a really nice way to try and sell my blog post to the people that are looking for Baldwin Park on Google or Bing or Yahoo. Let's see. What I like to do is I like to grab as many keywords that people usually search for all into one thing. So Baldwin Park is an award-winning community located in Orlando, Florida. Now, if somebody is looking for Orlando, Florida, now this is going to help out with homes ranging from 150,000, 500,000 homes have access to an amazing dog park. Ta-da! I've used all 156 characters. There's some stuff in here for dog owners. There's stuff in here for homes. They're looking for a range of 150,000 to 500,000. There's the award-winning community. There's Baldwin Park. There's Orlando, Florida. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this meta description to try and sell my blog post. And you'll notice that it has updated my snippet up here to show me what it'll look like inside of the search engines. So the last thing I would say is that this warning right here is what will need to get changed next. This warning is telling me that my width of my title display is too long. As you can see up here, it's getting cut off after with homes 4. So we need to reword it so that it can show up nice and pretty on the search engines. So let's see. We want to obviously have the word Baldwin Park in it. We could just leave it Baldwin Park - homes for sale. We could, change it up a lot of different ways. But that's all that's necessary, and you'll see that it changes up here, and ta-da, that's, good to go. So we can update it. I've already had this blog post published. So if it's in there and it hasn't been published, then I would automatically just click for it to save the draft. The next area inside here that I like to focus and look at is called the Page Analysis tab here. You'll see that it gives you a range of different things, and it also gives you different colors based off of how important or good, or if you need to pay attention to this or that is. It says you've used this focus keyword once before. Be sure to make your very clear your URL on the site is most important for this keyword. It's telling me that I've used it before, and obviously Baldwin Park is something that I talk about on a regular basis. If you're ever curious on what to do between things, it always tries to help you out. Like, it's saying I used this keyword before, so I can actually click on this once before link, and it'll take me automatically over to the other blog posts that I've used this for. So the page title contains 29 characters, which is less than the recommended minimum of 40 characters. Use the space to add keyword variations or create compelling call to action copy. So it's telling me that I could use a heck of a lot more words inside here. So too many. So let's see what I can do. That gives me plenty. So let's see what changes inside of that page analysis area based on the change I just made. So yeah, it just took away that. It said that I had used a lot of words in there like it wanted me to. It's going to recommend that I try to use at least 300 words minimum. It's going to say that I need my meta description to contain my primary keyword. It's going to check to make sure that I'm utilizing characters properly. It's going to check my keyword density. It said that it's 1.89%, which is great, which means in my 341 words, I have used the keyword 6 times, which is great. But don't use it in the sense that you just write and keep using the same word over and over and over in a weird way instead of using pronouns, because that's not how you write. It's not how people read either. You have to think about how people are actually wanting to get their content. And don't let this section right here, the copy score is 61.8 in the reading ease test. Don't let that slow you down. I can honestly tell you I've been doing blogging for about a year now, and I can't get much higher than that if I try. We're not writers, and we're not journalist majors. Just write how people want to read, or write how you would even want to read, because you could even be considered your own audience. Okay, so then the last area inside here already is an area called advanced. Would I worry about this area? No, not at all. I've never had to touch it myself. If it's meta robots follow, that's you saying I do or do not want this post to be indexed. You obviously want every post and every page inside your domain to be indexed. So disregard the advanced area unless I find out something different. um, okay, so there's another area that is not shown here that we have to activate if we want to have this extra little feature I'm about to show you. And that feature would be called the social area within inside of Yoast SEO. So if you see the SEO area in your menu, you can see that there's a drop down inside there. It's called social. If you go within it, you're going to see that you can put in like your Twitter username, your Instagram URL, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put in ours. And I don't know if it's going to ask for the HTTP or not. Okay, and then save. Then you can go under Facebook here. Now, I'm sure you've noticed whenever you share something on Facebook, it's going to grab an image from your post. So let's just go ahead and do that so I can show you the difference. So if I'm going to grab the Baldwin Park Stroll blog post, and you'll have to pardon my personal Facebook for a second. Hopefully nothing bad shows up. All right. So if I'm going to try to link to that blog post once only, it's going to pull this image. Now, let's say that I only want the image that I want to show up, which means like if I have a really nice logo and I want that to show up with every single blog post that I shout out to all my social media networks, that I can set that so that if I don't put a new one in place, then this is the one that will always show up. And you do that inside this area. So this is social, Facebook, and you have Twitter, you have Pinterest, and you have Google+. Now you can put in your defaults in through here. So you have your default image URL, which would be any image that you want to grab. So let's just say this is the image I want to show up at all times whenever I share anything through my through Facebook only. You set each one separately. So you go and click Save Changes. And whenever you are making a new post, you can change this. So there should be a social thing in here now. There isn't. Hold on. I turned this off for you guys so that I can show you how to turn it back on. I think you add this section here, and nope, that's not how you do it. I think that's all you need. It's just turning that on. Post, add new. Yep, that's what did it. Okay, so you'll see that there's a tab now that says social. So if I didn't want my default image that I just saved and put in place inside here, then you can specifically do one just for Facebook, just for this post. You can change the title, you can change the description, and how it shows up on Facebook specifically. And you can do this with the other social media networks as well. Now, I bring this up because I feel like this comes around quite often. A lot of people are sharing their blog posts through their Jetpack plugin that we talked about last week. If you missed that webinar and you want to see more about it, there is a playlist in our YouTube channel that has all of our previously recorded webinars. But you can set the images that show up whenever you share your posts. And you can change the content. So this would be the title and this would be the description that would automatically show when you share it in these specific networks. So Twitter didn't show up because I didn't add it yet. So I can go and click and add that. Pinterest, I think I have to have a verification code from Pinterest to add it. And Google+, I don't know if I have the page saved to where I can use it. So let's go ahead and go back into the post and see if it gives me those other options at the same time too. So under social, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, and there's Google+. So I can change like how I want each post image to show up on each of these social media networks. Like I said, you don't have to do these things in order to have a successful blog. This is that extra gravy that you can add on top in order to do a little bit extra. I don't want to like blow people's minds and not quite like get overwhelmed. This is extra stuff. You don't have to do it, but it's fun and it's the answer to a lot of the questions that I get from other clients. Okay, another section that I would say that's really important is inside of the SEO plugin is a section called titles and metas. Now, when your Facebook, when social media is used the way it is, you're going to want to make your website actually show up really nicely at all times inside of search engines. Now, inside of your agency area, you've been able to manipulate your meta tags and your meta description and things like that inside of section 2.4. This is kind of like the same area, but it's for search engines only, as well as that is. But it's not going to work on the pages that you've created inside of an e-agency. It's only going to work on your blog pages. So like we set the meta description earlier for the actual blog post, you can do it for the home page, for specific posts, for specific pages, and for media. So if you've uploaded images, this is how the meta description will automatically, by default, look if somebody finds it inside of search engines. So these are extra little things that you can add in and go ahead and or write one out that automatically like encompasses everything about your business, like the keywords about all the company, all the communities that you serve or anything like that. But remember that you're limited to 156 characters. Okay? So if you go over that, nobody's going to see anything past the 156. And the last question that I get quite often, because I'm nearing my 30-minute mark, is about, what is it called? Sitemaps. Sitemaps and submitting them to Google. Now, Google, if you've ever connected your website to Google Webmasters, is going to ask for an XML sitemap. That sitemap is already given to Google and Yahoo and Bing through your SEO Yoast plugin. This is another reason why we have this already activated and already on your site. It does it all on its own. You don't have to worry about setting it yourself. So there really isn't much to say on it. But yeah, that's the big thing. Okay, so I'm going to open up questions so that everyone can use their microphones. If there's a mic that is getting a lot of feedback, I will turn them back off. But other than that, if you have any other questions, I would love to be able to answer them at this time. I know that there's one already in here. I'll go ahead and answer the one that Pam just sent me. She asked why sometimes search engines ignore description, meta tag. Why? Honestly, I would say they don't ignore the meta description. However, the meta tags lately, I would say don't even bother with them. Google doesn't care as much about meta tags and things like that. It cares about the description. It cares about what the content wants, what the users are going to want to read. It's all about the content. So I would say they don't ignore the meta description, but the actual tags it does. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn everybody off of mute if I can. Okay, does anyone have any questions that they would like to add? Does anyone have any questions?
Hi, yes, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I came in maybe 9 minutes late, and I did hear you say in the presentation that these training videos are on YouTube. Is
Yes,
there a
ma'am.
step-by-step video for training on this Piggyback blog?
There are a lot of tutorials in place. I mean, going as simple as here's how you create your first blog post. If you log into your Piggyback blog, I've made all of the Piggyback blog tutorials available directly on your dashboard if you didn't want to go to YouTube directly. It may be in a different location on your dashboard, but this section here, it says tutorials just for you. Actually, I forgot that. I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. This section here that you're seeing that says dashboard, where it says tutorials just for you, those are all of the Piggyback blog tutorials that I currently have made, and all of the previous webinars are also uploaded to our YouTube channel. So if you, like, it starts as early as, like, here's how you create your first post. Go under posts, add new, things like that, insert media. There's a blog, there's a tutorial about creating a hyperlink, adding video, creating photo galleries, how to get the green light on SEO like we talked about today. There's a lot of stuff all inside there. And it's all in a playlist. So if you just click play here, it's going to go through all 10 if you let it.
Okay.
But if you get through a lot of these webinars or tutorials and you're not quite sure still about how to do some specific thing that you're not finding the answer to in these videos, or you're getting tired of watching videos, I do have scheduled appointments so that I can speak with you directly over the phone. We can share screens, any of that kind of information. And on the email that you received that has that announced that we were having a webinar today, there's links at the top of the screen, and one says schedule a call, and that's to schedule a call with me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Does anyone else have any questions? If you aren't able to use a microphone, you can feel free to utilize the chat window. All you have to do is hit the little chat bubble at the top of the screen, and you're going to see the chat window open up, and you can send the question directly to me or to everybody. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share some information as far as how to get a hold of me. If you have any questions, my email address is tracy@brandco.com, TRACY@brandco.com. If you want to schedule a phone call with me, you can do so at the link I'm about to share with you. If you ever want to get a hold of any of our tutorial videos other than grabbing them directly from your dashboard of your Piggyback blog, you can do so by just going straight to youtube.com/hello BrandCo. And you're going to see all of the webinars that we have available, all of the tutorials that we have available, all of our playlists. Everything is going to be inside there. Everything's like quick and easy to get to. And if you ever have a hard time finding specifically the question that you need answered, email me and I will send you the direct video link. And if you want any additional information, we have been building out our blog on our website at BrandCo.com with adding tips and tricks to WordPress and to about our team and things like that. So you go check our blog out. I even in here have rules to follow whenever you're choosing a domain for a real estate agency. Things like that. We're trying to put as much information into our blogs as we can so that our clients can benefit from it. So if there aren't any more questions, I'll give it 5 more minutes and we'll see if we have any questions then, and then we'll end up ending the webinar, okay?